All right, friends. Shabbat Shalom and good Shabbos.
Shabbat Shalom.
It is a beautiful evening here in Huntington. A little warm, but then anything over 40 degrees is warm for me. So, but it's not so humid, and it was quite a nice day today. And I can't think of anything that was wrong with the day today. It was a good day. It was leading into Shabbat, and all sorts of good things going on. And so we are here ready to enter into Shabbat. And we'll have, I guess, Judy is the one to light candles tonight.
Hi.
Dennis.
Here's Dennis.
Shalom Aleichem, Melekeh Shalom.
Not quite
That's all I
yet.
know, Rabbi.
We're not quite there yet. But we're glad you're here.
O source of light and truth, creator of the law of goodness, help us to find knowledge by which to live. Lead us to take the words we shall speak into our hearts and our lives. Bless all who enter this sanctuary in need, all who bring the offerings of their hearts. May our worship lead us to acts of kindness, peace, and love.
I gotta get my book.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzilanu b'chesed ner shalom.
All right, friends, we'll continue on page 9 with a responsive reading in English at the top. There are days when we seek things for ourselves and measure failure by what we do not gain.
On Shabbat, we seek not to acquire, but to gain.
There are days when we exploit nature as if it were a hoard of plenty that can never be exhausted.
On Shabbat, we stand in wonder before the mystery of creation.
There are days when we act as if we care nothing for the rights of others.
On Shabbat, we remember that justice is our duty and a better world our goal.
So we embrace Shabbat, day of peace, day of wonder, day of rest, day of wonder, day of peace. All right, we're going to begin to welcome the Sabbath bride, the Sabbath queen, on page 20 with song Lecha Dodi. Page 20. Lecha Dodi Likrat Kala, B'nei Shabbat Mikabela. Lecha Dodi Likrat Kala, B'nei Shabbat Mikabela. Shamor v'zachor b'dibor echad, Yishmi'anu el hamiuchad, Adonai echad, U'shmo echad, L'shem u'tiferet v'litila, Lecha Dodi Likrat Kala, B'nei Shabbat Mikabela. Likrat Shabbat lechu v'nelcha, Ki mekor ha'bracha, merosh mikedem nehesucha, sof ma'aseh v'machshava tchila, lecha dodi likrat kala, B'nei Shabbat nikabela, mikdash melech ir melucha, kumitzei mitopachecha, Rav lachak shevet b'yemecha b'cha, v'hu yachamol alaychem la, lecha dodi likrat kala, B'nei Shabbat nikabela, ikna hari me'afar kumi, lishi b'gei tifartecha mi, al yad b'nishai beit halachmi, Korva el nafshi ge'ala, lecha dodi likrat kala, B'nei Shabbat nikabela, hitorri, ki va'urei kumi uri, shir daveri, כבוד אדוני עלייך נגלה, לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת יקבלה, לא תבושי ולא תקומי, מה תשתוכחי מה תביא, בך יחסו עניי עמי, ונבנתה יעלתי לה, לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה, והיו לשמצה שוסייך, ורחקו כל מבלייך, יסיס עלייך אלוהייך, כי ימסוס חתן על כלה, לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה, ימין ושמאל תפרוצי, ואת אדוני תריצי, על יד איש בן פרצי, בואי בשלום עטרת בלה, גם בשמחה ובשולה, תוך אמוני עם סגולה, בואי חלה, לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. Page 22, some verses from Psalm 92, the psalm dedicated for Shabbat. So let's read the outdented paragraph together in English, and then you go back for Tzaddik Tamar. A psalm, a song for Shabbat. It is good to praise Adonai, to sing hymns to your name, O Most High, to proclaim your steadfast love at daybreak, your faithfulness each night, to the 10-stringed harp with voice and lyre together. You have gladdened me by your deeds, Adonai. I shout for joy at your handiwork. How great are your works, Adonai, how very subtle your designs. A brute cannot know, a fool cannot understand this. Tzadik katamar yifra, kerez balvanon yiske shetulim, bebeit Adonai, bechatzrot Eloheinu, Yahafrihu, O Jinubun Beseva, Yeshenim Berahananim, Yiyu Lehadi, Yashar Adonai, Suri Velo Hablakabo. And one more song for Kabbalat Shabbat, page 24 at the top. We'll greet the angels who come to spend Shabbat with us. Top of 24. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hashari, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malachei Amlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Moachem L'Shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malachei Amlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruchuni L'Shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malachei Amlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Zeitchem L'Shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi melech malachei amlachim hakadosh baruch hu. All right, we welcome Shabbat. Shabbat is with us, page 146, the beginning of the RV service for Shabbat, the evening service, Baruch Hu. Baruch Adonai Hamvorach Leolam Va'ed. Let's read together on 147, the three English sections. Adonai, your majesty is proclaimed by the marvels of earth and sky. Sun, moon, and stars testify to your power and wisdom. Day follows day in endless succession, and the years vanish, but your sovereignty endures. Though all things pass, let not your glory depart from us. Help us to become co-workers with you and endow our fleeting days with abiding work. Baruch atah Adonai ha'ma'ariv ha'ravim. Top of 148. Ahavat olam beit Yisrael amcha ahavta Torah u'mitzvot u'kim u'mishpatim otanu limadita al kein Adonai Eloheinu v'shofteinu hukumeinu nasiach bechukecha v'nismach b'divrei Toratecha u'v'mitzvotecha le'olam va'ed. Ki heim chayenu v'yorech yameinu u'vahem neged yomam v'layla yomam v'layla ve'ahabatecha tasir mimenu le'olamim baruch atah Adonai Ohev Amo Yisrael. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. V'ahavta ha'et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levacha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol me'otecha v'hayu advarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al vavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam v'shivtecha b'veitecha u'vlektecha b'derech u'v'shochtecha u'kumecha u'kshartam le'ot al yadecha v'hayu l'totafot b'neinecha u'chtavtam al mezuzot beitecha u'b'sharecha le'man tizkeruhu v'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'tem kedoshim le'Elohechem Ani Adonai Elohechem Asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim liot lachem l'Elohim Ani Adonai Elohechem. On 151, let's read responsibly in English. We worship the power that unites the universe, a promise of harmony for all.
Yeah, the one that salutes our Christ is in perfection and evil faith.
Before our eyes, there is a vision of perfection, order, and goodness.
There is evil enough to break the heart, and there is good enough to exalt the soul.
When will redemption come?
When we grant
everyone
what we claim for
Yeah,
ourselves.
for ourselves.
Long ago, we escaped the tyranny of Egypt. Our people saw the power of the Most High.
We learn God's presence redeems time and events, so we celebrate the power that makes for freedom.
Top of 152. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai. Mi kamocha nedar ba'kodesh. Nohora tehilot osef ve'eleh. Malchutecha ra'u banecha. Bokeyam lifnei Moshe. Ze'eli anu v'yamruhu. Adonai yimloch leolam v'ed. V'nehemar kifad Adonai et Yaakov. U'ga'alo mi'at chazak mimenu. Baruch atah Adonai Ga'al Yisrael. Top of 153. Ashkivenu. Ashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom v'ha'amidenu shomreinu l'chayim. Ashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom v'ha'amidenu shomreinu l'chayim. Let's read together the paragraph in English. Give us a place to rest, O God. Shelter us in the long, soft evening shadows of your truth. You are true protection and safety. In your presence we find love and acceptance. Watch over us as we go forth. Prepare for us as we return. Spread over us your shelter of peace, over all we love, over our Jerusalem and yours. Baruch atah Adonai. Aporei Sukkot Shalom Aleinu, V'al Kol Amo Yisrael, V'al Yerushalayim. Top of 154, Vishamru, verses from the book of Shemot, from the book of Exodus. It's not Shabbat if we don't hear Vishamru a couple of times. And so this evening, Vishamru, B'nei Yisrael, Et HaShabbat, La'asot et HaShabbat, Le'dorotam berith olam. Beini uvein b'nei Yisrael, Ohoti li'olam. V'shamru b'nei Yisrael, Et HaShabbat, La'asot et HaShabbat, Le'dorotam berith olam. Ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai, et hashamayim v'et haaretz, v'shamru b'nei Yisrael, et hashabbat, la'asot et hashabbat, le'dorotam berith olam. Uvayom hashvi'i Shabbat vayinafash, Shabbat vayinafash, Shabbat vayinafash, V'shamru b'nei Yisrael, et hashabbat, la'asot et hashabbat, le'dorotam berith olam. All right, we are at the central prayer of the evening service, the Amidah, pages 155 through 167. We'll chant the first couple of pages together, and then we'll go silently as you can finish the Amidah on your own, finishing up in the Hebrew, English translations, or offering up your own meditative prayer during this time. But we'll begin on 155 together. Adonai sifatai tifach u'yagi ilatecha. Adonai sifatai tifach u'yagi ilatecha.
Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Ha'gibor, Ha'norah, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, Vekonei HaKol, V'zocher Chasdei Avot V'imahot, U'mevi Goel Livnei B'neihem, Leman Shemo B'ahava, Ve'ozer Moshiach U'Magid, Baruch atah Adonai, Magid Abraham, Yezrat Sarah, Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai, Mechayim Eitim Matarav Lahoshia, Mashiv HaRuach, U'Morid HaTahal, Mechakel Chayim B'Chesed, Mechayim Eitim B'Rachamim Rabim, Sohomech Noflim Erofech Oholim, Umatir Asurim, Umekayim Emunato, Lishenei Ahar, Michamocha Ha'al Yevorot, Umidom Elmach, Melech Meimid, Umechayeh, Umatzmiach Yeshua, Neman Atalach Hayot Eitim, Baruch atah Adonai, Mechayeh HaMeitim.
Still completing your Amidah, please take your time, finish at your own pace. Let's read together in English, the middle of page 160. May these hours of rest and renewal open our hearts to joy and our minds to truth. May all who struggle find rest on this day. May all who suffer find solace. May all who hurt find healing on this day. May all who despair find purpose. May all who hunger find fulfillment on this day. And may we all live in such a way that this day fulfill its promise. Baruch atah Adonai, mechadesh hashabbat. A little bit of gratitude, a little bit of thanksgiving on the top of page 163. Let's read responsibly. For the good in us which calls us to a better life, we give thanks.
Strength to improve the world with our hearts and our hands, we offer praise.
For the desire in us which leads us to work for peace, we are grateful.
For life and nature, harmony and beauty, for the hope of tomorrow, all praise to the
We
source
hope
of being.
tomorrow, all praise to the source of being.
All right, let's mix things up. Let's read in English this evening, Shalom Rav, the prayer for peace. I think that's something we all need a little bit of in this world. A lot of peace. So let's read together. Grant us peace, your most precious gift, O eternal source of peace. And give us the will to proclaim its message to all the people of the earth. Bless our country as a safeguard of peace, its advocate among the nations. May contentment reign within our bodies, borders, health, and happiness within our homes. Strengthen the bonds of friendship and fellowship among all the inhabitants of the world. Plant virtue in every soul, and may the love of your name hallow every home and every heart. Praised are you, Adonai, who blesses your people, Israel, with peace. Baruch atah Adonai, hamevarech et amo Yisrael, b'shalom. All right, Misha Berach, page 253, we'll jump ahead. Misha Berach is one of the many different types of Misha Berach prayers. This one asks for healing. And if you have anyone who needs healing, spiritual, physical, emotional, spiritual, keep them close to your thoughts, keep them in your hearts as we sing the Misha Berach prayer, middle of 253. Misha Berach Avoteinu Mikor HaBracha Le'imotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Misha Berach Imotenu Mikor HaBracha Le'avotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. 258 and 259, we find prayers for our community. And Dennis, would you on the top of page 258 read the prayer for our congregation?
That's the top, right, yeah.
At the top.
Source of all being, may the children of the community learn these passions from us: love of Torah, devotion and prayer, and support of the needy. May we guide with integrity, and may our leadership be in your service. May those who reach and nourish us to be blessed with satisfaction, and may we appreciate their time and their devotion. Bless us with the fruits of wisdom and understanding, and may our efforts bring fulfillment and joy.
Baruch atah Adonai, she'otecha levatcha b'yirah na'avod. Brenda, would you read the prayer for our country?
Thus says Adonai, this is what I desire, to unlock the fetters of wickedness and untie the cords of lawlessness, to let the oppressed go free, to break off every yoke. Share your bread with the hungry, and take the wretched poor into your home. When you see the naked, give clothing, and do not ignore your own kin. If you banish the folks from your midst, the menacing hand, the evil speech, if you offer compassion to the hungry and satisfy the famished creature, then your light shall shine in darkness.
Thank you. Shalom, Shalom, Yerushalayim, Yishlayu, Ohavayich. Maury, the English, please.
Pray for the peace of Jerusalem. May those who love you prosper.
Avinu Shamayim, Sur Yisrael v'Golo, Barech et Medinat Yisrael, Reishit Smichat Gulatenu, Hagen Aleha B'Yevrat Chasdecha, Ufros Aleha Sukat Shlomecha, Ushlach Urecha V'Amitecha, L'Rasheha Sorecha B'Yoetzeha, V'Takneim Be'etza Tova Milfanecha, V'Natata Shalom Ba'aretz, V'Simchat Olam Liyoshbeha, V'Nomar Amen. David, the English, please.
O Heavenly One, Protector and Redeemer of Israel, bless the state of Israel, which marks the dawning of hope for all who seek peace. Shield them beneath the wings of your love, spread over the canopy of your peace. Send your light and truth to all who lead and advise, guiding them with your good counsel. Establish peace in the land and fullness of joy for all who dwell there, and let us say,
Amen.
Thank you, everyone, for reading. All right, friends, Shabbat Shalom and good Shabbos.
Shabbos.
Shalom.
This week's Torah portion is Pinchas. It's one of only 5 Torah portions that have an actual name attached to them, and Pinchas is one of them. Now, it's the name of being attached to them is by chance, right? The Torah portions are named after the first major word that they come across. And so this one happens to start off with Pinchas. I think or Pinchas is the second word, but it's the first, considered the first major word. And Pinchas picks up right at the very end of Parshat Balak from last week, right? Pinchas, who is the son of Eleazar, who is the high priest. He inherited that from his father Aharon before Aharon died. Pinchas kills 2 people, Zimri and Cozbi. One of them is an Israelite, one is a Midianite. They were heading into Zimri's tent to engage in some adult behavior. And this really, really bothered Pinchas. So without any provocation, without any due process, he follows them and stabs them in one in the back and one in the front. As they are together. Now, God rewards this, right? This looks like it's cold-blooded murder, but God rewards Pinchas's zeal with a covenant of peace, a brit shalom, and promises that his descendants will also have the priesthood for all times. But if you look at the Torah, if you go into the Torah scroll itself, and if you are lucky enough when we read this parsha, and you have the first aliyah, the word shalom, which is spelled with a vav, the vav is broken. It's not a complete letter. It has a top part, the middle is missing, and it has a bottom part. And the rabbis say that this suggests that while he was rewarded for his actions, it's not a complete covenant of peace. It's not a complete brit shalom because of that broken vav. And so we wrestle with Pinchas. He's a zealot, and do we like zealots? Do we like when people take justice into their own hands, or do we appreciate more when proper channels are followed? Here, the Torah seems a little bit not confused, but not quite sure where to land on that. So he gets the brit shalom with the broken vav. Moshe then commands the Israelites to crush the Midianites for their seducing of the Israelites and leading them back into idolatry. There's a plague that comes that Pinchas had stopped with his murder of Cozbi and Zimri. And after the plague ends, a census is taken, and there are 601,730 Israelites. At this point, Moshe announces how the land will be divided, how the land of Israel, the land of Canaan will be divided. The larger tribes will get a larger piece of the land because there's more of them. Smaller tribes will get a smaller piece. But each person will get assigned a lot that is of equal size to everybody else in their tribe, right? So just because you are the prince of the tribe doesn't necessarily mean you're going to get the bigger piece. The larger tribes get more land, but everything gets divided equally amongst the members. except for the Levites. If you are a Levite, you don't get a piece of the land. You are going to be compensated for your service through gifts, donations, and money that will come to what comes to the tabernacle, but ultimately will come to the temple. We have an interesting story of 5 daughters, 5 sisters, who are the 5 daughters of a man named Zelophehad. And Zelophehad, the daughters' names, it's interesting, not a lot of women get named in the Torah. We know all the major women, but we don't know, for example, the name of Noah's wife or his daughters-in-law. We don't know the name of many of the daughters of our ancestors. If they had daughters, the only daughter that really gets mentioned in the book of Genesis is Dinah. And then in the Moshe story, his mother Yocheved is named, his wife Zipporah is named, his sister Miriam is named. We don't know Aharon's wife's name. We don't know a whole bunch of names of women. But these 5 women, Mochla, Noah, Hogla, Milcah, and Tirzah. 5 daughters get named because they have a problem with what Moshe says about dividing the land. Their father died without having a son. And so the way it's suggested in the Torah is that if there's no son, Zelophehad's family doesn't get the piece of the land. It will go to someone else. And the daughters argue that they should have a right to inherit the holding. It is not their fault that their father died without a son, that maybe he has no brother. We don't know. But these 5 daughters say, hey, it's not fair. God agrees and says that they can inherit. Now, in a couple of parshiot, some of the men in the tribes get a little bit upset at this and say, look, if they inherit the land, when they move to another, if they marry outside their tribe, right? So I don't know what tribe they were, so we'll call them from Asher. They are Asherites, and if they marry a Gadite, if they inherited the land, they should be able to take that land with them or get an equivalent piece out of the Gad territory. And so after some back and forth, God says, you know what? They're both right. The daughters are right, but also the other people are right. So here's how we're going to divide it. The daughters can inherit, and this would be for any daughter who inherits because there's no brother after their father dies. They can inherit the land, but if they move or they marry outside the tribe, right? So they're Asherites, and if they marry Gadites, they forfeit the land stays back with Asher. But if they do not marry outside the tribe, they marry within their tribe, they keep the land. And so this is a nice, I'm not going to call it a feminist reading, but it does show that the Torah was not just only concerned about the well-being of men. That there are these moments where the daughters of Zelophehad step up, and we remember them. They're named. They are part of our tradition. Moshe is told to climb Mount Ebarim, and he's told to look at the land because he will not enter into the land, but he will die there on the mountain. Moshe requests that he be alive and know his successor, and Joshua is appointed. Right? Joshua, remember, he was one of the 2 spies who came back from the land and had a positive report. He and Caleb were the 2. The parsha concludes with a description of offerings presented daily on Shabbat, on the new moons, Pesach, Shavuot, Pesach, Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, Shavuot, Sukkot, and Shavuot. And there are 6 mitzvot given in this week's parsha, 6 positive ones, and they are numbers 400 through 405. So that's our Torah portion in a nutshell for this week. So a number of years ago, I had the opportunity to hear a woman named Julie Schiffman. And she was a motivational speaker. She was kind of an interesting speaker. Motivational speakers are not normally my cup of tea. Right? I don't There's just something about them reminding me of snake oil salesmen, stuff, people that you would hear at the carny. So I was not in my best mood when I was hearing her. And now, before you say, well, then, Rabbi, if you didn't like that kind of stuff, why did you go? It was at a Federation dinner, and I had to go as a rabbi in the community. So I was there. I was nice. I was listening, and something that she said caught my attention. She was talking about happiness and how to get happy or be happy. And she said, you don't be happy, you don't get happy, you have to catch happiness. And that intrigued me. How does one catch happiness? Is it like catching a cold? You don't know it until you get home and you're all stuffed up. I was intrigued. She offered 5 steps. She said these kind of 5 things help you to get in a mood where you can catch happiness. 1 is perform random acts of kindness. Well, every motivational speaker will tell you that, right? Gemilut chasadim in the Hebrew. She said, be conscious, practice conscious gratitude. Now, I like to talk about adapting or adopting an attitude of gratitude, but for her, it's conscious gratitude. Be aware of being grateful. Don't just go through the motions, right? All too often, it's one of the things that I've discovered in my studies of prayer is that all prayer is a form of gratitude. We just have to be aware of it. And if we just kind of zip through the prayers to get through them, we don't get to practice conscious gratitude. We get through the prayers, but we don't get to spend a lot of time with them. The third one I thought was really good, and if my dad were alive, he would have enjoyed this. Find the funny. Learn to laugh in life. Life could be extremely, extremely painful, problematic, but there are funny moments out there, and you just have to be aware of them. Don't sweat the small stuff, right? So, and keep striving. That was the one that I liked too. Keep striving to catch happiness. Keep moving forward. Keep trying your very best. But what was so very interesting at the end of her talk, and I remember this, I had written down the 5 steps there in one of my notebooks, and she never defined what happiness was. She never said, this is happiness, so you recognize it when you catch it. Because happiness is different things for different people. For some people, happiness means they finish writing a book. They earn a degree. They acquire something that they have been waiting for. They saved up for a stereo. They won the lottery. They got married. They got unmarried, right? Whatever makes somebody happy. For some people, happiness is acquiring something. Charles M. Schultz, in his Peanuts collection, said that happiness was a warm puppy. I agree with that one. But Abraham Joshua Heschel, one of the great Jewish theologians of the 20th century, said, happiness is really a sense of fulfillment. That you are in communion with that which transcends us. Right? Happiness is tapping into that which transcends us, being part of that. And when Heschel talks about that which transcends us, he's always talking about God. But not just God in some intellectual sense or mystical sense, God in a very actual sense. Because he says that we need a sense of awe and wonder. That if we see something that is just beautiful, we should have a sense of awe, we should have a sense of wonder. We need to see things in a new light. And as I think about Heschel, and I think about our happiness speaker, I can't help but see the connection. Julie Schiffman is saying we have to adapt these attitudes. We have to adapt an attitude where we're practicing loving kindness, where we are consciously being grateful, where we are laughing, we are enjoying, where we keep striving, and where we don't let little things bother us. And Heschel's basically saying the same thing, except that when you are in life, you need to have a sense of awe, that appreciate the miracles that are around us all the time, and then to have gratitude for our experiences of them. Right? We are surrounded by the miraculous. Albert Einstein is famously said to have, is famously quoted to have said, "We can go about life in two ways, one in which nothing is a miracle, and one in which everything is a miracle." We are surrounded by miracles constantly, but we have lost our sense of awe. And awe and wonder are the ability to recognize our part in the universe. That it's a great, great big universe, and we are a very, very, very tiny part, and yet we have great influence. Or at least we hope we do. The beginning of our happiness lies in the understanding that life without wonder is not worth living. If you see a beautiful sunset, a beautiful sunrise, and you go, meh, you're not really living. You're not really living. It's the small things. It's the dripping of water at night after a rainstorm. It's the shaking of a dog's leg as it dreams. Those are wonderful things. Those are awesome things to see, to be part of. And I think that might lead to happiness. I don't know. Because I'm not sure what happiness is. I really don't. But I do know two things. Happiness isn't about the pursuit of physical things and getting them. Because as we know, you get something, and then immediately you want something else. You get a computer, you take it to the parking lot, it's already outdated, and you're already thinking about the next computer that you want, without having even opened this one. And the second thing I know about happiness is that it begins with a sense of wonder. And so may our Shabbat be filled with awe and wonder this week. Shabbat shalom, everybody.
Shabbat shalom.
Mari,
Kadoosh.
Kiddush time. Yes, thank you. Thank you. We are going to have a little bit of Kiddush for Shabbat evening. Leil Shabbat. Kiddush Leil Shabbat. Leil Shabbat. For the evening of the Sabbath. Vayher vayhiboker yom hashishi. Vayechulu hashamayim v'haaretz. V'chol tzivam. Vayechal Elohim. Vayom hashvi'i melachto asher asa. Vayishvot vayom hashvi'i mikol melachto asher asa. Vayavarech Elohim et yom hashvi'i. V'kadesh oto kivo shavat mikol melachto asher bara Elohim la'asot. Sabri. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav me'atzavanu, b'shabbat kodsho, b'ahava u'ratzon, inchilanu, zikaron lema'aseh bereishit. Hu yom techila lemikrai kodesh, zecher l'tziat mitzrayim. Ivanu v'harta, v'yatanu kidashta, mikol ha'amim, v'shabbat kodshecha, v'ahava u'ratzon, inchaltanu. Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh HaShabbat. All right, page 282, we'll begin closing out our evening service with Aleinu, prayer that originally was part of the High Holiday services, which are coming up in just a little over 2 months. Page 282.
Aleinu l'shafeach l'adon ha'kol, l'aseh kidula liyotzeh reshit, shelo asanu k'goyeh ha'ratzot, v'lo samanu k'mishpachot ha'adama, shelo sam elkeinu kahem, v'gor aleinu k'chol almonam, v'anachnu korim, ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוצר הארץ ומשה יקרו בשמיים ממעל ושנינה תוזו בגובה מרומים ואלוהינו את מלכנו את בסולתו הכתוב בתורתו וידעת היום והשיבותה אל לבבך כי אדוני הוא האלוהים בשמיים ממעל the hearts, mitachat eino. ככתוב בתורתך, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. ונאמר, והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ. ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד.
This week we continue observing Shloshim for Rita Stern. This week we observed the following yard sites: Anna Bernstein, relative of Don Hyman; E. Henry Bro, husband of Betsy, son of F and Irene, father of Susan and Pete; Ben Kaplan, relative of Saul; Gert Scar, David's wife, mother of Tom and his 4 siblings; James Cohen, Davy's brother, husband of Peggy; Mayor Davis, father of Bob; Oki Napier; Evelyn Goldstoff, Jack Gottlieb's aunt; Gilbert Weisberg, Liz Weisberg's father; Irene Strauss Horowitz, related to Ida Strauss; Marvin Newman, first husband of Margie Feder Leventhal; Florence Fishman, Harry Greenstein's niece, Irving's cousin; Isidore Fox, Ronnie Glazer's father; Morris Kuntz, relative of Linda Stern and Richard Kuntz; Rabbi Abraham Feinstein, which one was it? Feinstein. Thank you, Feinstein. Oheb Shalom's first permanent rabbi; Bertram G. Landau Sr., father of Bert Jr., Ida Cutler, wife of Jack, mother of Rose Aronson; Abraham Miller, W. Schnitt's father; Milton Penn, Ina Hamill's father; Harold Sidney Shradsky, husband of Ruth, father of Bernice and Marjorie. May their souls be bound up in the bond of life eternal. May their memories be a blessing to us all, and may they always rest in peace.
Amen.
Mourner's Kaddish is found on page 294. Yitgadal, Yitgadash, Shnei Rabbah, V'almad, Yivrach, Yiruteh, V'amlik Malchuteh, V'chayecho, V'yomecho, U'chaye Dechol Beit Yisrael, V'agala, U'bizman Karim, V'imru, Amen. Yehei Shmei Rabbah, V'orach, L'lam, L'meo Maya, Yitvarach, V'yishtabach, V'yitmar, V'yitromam, V'yinaseh,
V'yitadar, v'yitaleh, v'yitalal, shmei, v'kusha, v'richu. Leila, v'yikol, v'yirchata, v'shirata. Kushbachata, v'nechamata, v'amiram, v'almala, v'yimru, amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya. V'chayim aleinu, v'al kol Yisrael, v'yimru, amen. Oseh shalom v'yumav. Oseh shalom. Aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'yimru, amen.
All right, friends, before we close out with Adon Olam and we put our evening service to bed, a couple of quick announcements. Service is tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. and then again Sunday morning at 9 a.m. Sunday afternoon at 3 o'clock. We are still meandering through the Midrash. Last week, we learned a couple of Midrashim about the Shema. And tomorrow, we're going to learn about what Moses did when he went up when he climbed a ladder to heaven and he stole something from the angels. And if you want to know what that is and why it's important, got to tune in tomorrow at 3. Sunday at 3. I'm all mixed up this week. Sunday at 3. Thank you. Monday night at 6:30, our deep dive into Genesis. Wednesday night, as always, the best choir from coast to coast, our little Yiddish choir with the most. The Yiddish choir, 7 o'clock. And I do believe that they're starting to meet here in the boardroom as well as on Zoom. But we'll know more tomorrow when they are here. And then we're back Friday night, kind of a quiet week. It will be Rosh Chodesh coming up. Rosh Chodesh Menachem Av. It's the month of Av. And then after that is the month of Elul. And then after the month of Elul is the month of Tishrei, which brings us to the high holidays. So 2 Hebrew months away. Well, a week and 2 Hebrew months. 2 Hebrew months in a week away from the high holidays. So no sense in letting them surprise you. They are on their way. Dennis will tell you they're on their way. They're coming no matter what. All right, let's close on 321 this evening with Adon Olam.
Adon Olam Asher Malach B'terem Kol Yitzir Nihira Li'et Nasa B'Hefsod Kol Azai Melech Shemo Nivra B'Acharei Kiflot HaKol Levado Imloch Nora Vehu Haya Vehu Hoveh Vehu Yeh B'Tifara Vehu Echad V'Ein Sheni L'Havshilo L'Hachbira V'Li Reshit V'Li Tachlit V'Lo Ha'oz V'Hamisra Vehu Eli V'Chai Goali V'Tzur Hedli V'Yehi Tzahara Vehu Nisi Umanosli Menad Kosi Biyom Ekra Biyado Akiruhi V'Ekishan V'Yahira V'Imruchi Griati Adonai Li V'Lo Yira.
All right, friends. Hello. Ooh, wow, we have a whole bunch of people saying hello to us this evening via the interwebs. So let's see who they are. Jenny Bro. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. I hope you're keeping cool and safe. Thank you, Jenny. Same to you. Kathleen, that's Mom. Shabbat Shalom from to all from Rabbi's Mom and Cliff. Thanks, Mom and Cliff. From hot and humid Pennsylvania. Well, we know what that is. Hope everyone has a great weekend. Thank you. Melanie Samuels from the holy city of Brooklyn. Good Shabbos and a cooler weekend to all. Thank you. Stay near the AC and be well and happy. Thank you. ML Glazer and Herman. Wish all a good and cool Shabbat. Thank you both. Diane Shaddles, Shabbat Shalom. Wishing for everyone a happy, healthy, and productive week ahead. All right. Let's get through Shabbos first, and then we could have that. But thank you, Diane. Same to you. Try not to melt in this crazy heat. I agree. Donna Wilson, Shabbat Shalom to everyone. Stay cool. Thank you, Donna. You as well. I think that's everybody. There's a whole bunch tonight. All right, friends. Shabbat Shalom. Good Shabbos. We'll see you soon, and be careful out there. We'll see you soon.
shall